Hello everyone, welcome to the gallery at Civic Center. I'm Kate the librarian. I'm here with Wendy Raisenen, the curator for Scottsdale Arts. We're going to introduce to you a wonderful new exhibit called Designed to Move, Seeds That Float, Fly, or Hitchhike Through the Desert Southwest. And in a moment I'm going to step aside and Wendy's going to take over.
Hello! So wonderful images of desert seeds we're going to be seeing here. They are macro photography, so there is a very complicated way for the photographer to be able to shoot these tiny, tiny seeds in a way that we can see detail and that all detail is focused. Right here we have the screwbean mesquite, which is probably one of the more fun kind of shapes that a seed can take, and it is considered a hitchhiker. I think that the screw beans probably twirl themselves into fur of, say, a coyote or a bobcat, and in order to get carried along to the next place where it can plant itself. And then, of course, the desert oak we've got here, which is not exactly a small seed, but it does have fantastic detail in sort of a cap here. I find that the small details of these seeds are so beautiful, and it really emphasizes the theme of the show, which is design. The exhibition was curated by Heidi Fisher from ASU's Biomimicry Center. She worked with the photographer Taylor James to photograph the work that we have here. So one of the most incredible transformations, I think, that a seed makes in the desert Southwest is the saguaro seed. This is a major blow up of a saguaro seed. You know, a saguaro seed's about as big as a pinhead, half a sesame seed maybe, and it grows in harsh, harsh conditions to become towering grandfathers of the desert, maybe 100 feet tall, and they last a long, long time, maybe 100 years or so. Just the transformation from the tiniest to the hugest is one of the great stories of the desert Southwest. This is the devil's claw seed. We may have seen them. They're very sculptural. You may have seen them in the desert. They're kind of rare. The horsemen and cattlemen really don't like them because they sort of clamp onto the hoofs of these animals. But the origin of this plant goes all the way back to the Pleistocene era, 12,000 years ago, where great sloths would be the sort of transmitter of this seed, the hitchhiking device. And now the Pima Indians in Arizona are really have become the device of which the evolution of this plant has changed. The Pima Indians have harvested and planted these plants in order to get a longer spike off of the two spikes on the seed in order to use them for weaving baskets. And so they've made it so they're longer and blacker in order to improve their basket making. And so there's a seed that has evolved because of human activity, and I think that's pretty amazing. This seed here, the filiary, I've seen this plant in my yard as a weed, but this seed is the most amazing self-planting device that ASU's Biomimicry Center has noticed and sort of copied in modern technology. With changes in humidity, that spiraling spike up the top there straightens out and lengthens as the humidity comes and goes, and so the bottom sort of pointy part buries itself in the ground, and it self-seeds. I mean, this plant is doing its own job of planting itself in order to propagate. And besides being extremely sculptural and beautiful, the function of this seed is a perfect indicator as to why the ASU Biomimicry Center was so interested in this exhibition. Another device that seeds employ to self-propagate or move around the desert is hitchhiking. And this is the Canyon Ragweed seed, and it's got these little hooks on the end. First of all, is anyone allergic to ragweed? This is why. This is why. So this is very similar to Velcro, how a hiker has noticed that these seeds with the tiny, tiny hooks on it were what is catching in his socks on hiking trips. And so this is the impetus for the invention of Velcro. So you can just see how this seed and others like it with the little hook on the end will automatically attach themselves to furry beings in order to move along and grow somewhere else.
While you're here, be sure to go to this kiosk outside the exhibit and pick up one of these cards. This is an activity for the whole family about biomimicry. Basically, that's a fancy word for how we, with our inventions, imitate nature, how we use the way birds and bats and even sea kelp work to come up with brilliant inventions of our own. Really a fun mix and match activity. And now there's the next one that I'm going to show you. Also, just outside the exhibit is this display here. Scottsdale Arts has come up with the most clever virtual way for you to enjoy art that has to do with the wonderful new Design to Move exhibit. If you download the Hoverlay app, grab one of these cards, point your phone at the QR code. It has a way for you to be transported virtually to a 360-degree experience of George Dock Cavalier Park, and a piece of virtual art that will be floating in the air that you can see from all sides, and you can actually virtually take a walk in the park too. Really a fun way to enjoy this exhibit.